Had a lot of people on Twitter ask about the different types of NBA pick and rolls, so I decided to make you guys a video with a little help from my friend Damian Lillard. Learn the NBA pick and roll. We're going to go through some of the main types of pick and rolls in the NBA, some of the main reads, the main defenses. Make sure you hit that thumb up button, hit that subscribe button when it's all done, because I will be making another video that goes into even more about the pick and roll, but here's about everything I can cram into a 10-minute or so video. First of all, high pick and roll. What I consider a high pick and roll and what NBA coaches consider a high or a middle pick and roll is anything that occurs basically within the lane lines. So the lane lines are pretty much if you took the elbow and then drew a line straight up. Elbow, line straight up. So anything basically within this region right here is going to be considered a high pick and roll. So lane line extended is a term you'll hear me use sometimes, and that's basically, again, drawing a straight line from the elbow all the way up. Okay? If you hear free throw line extended, that's going to mean basically horizontally going from the free throw line across to the corner. Right? So you see free throw line extended is basically this straight line right here, meeting the free throw line, going all the way across horizontally on the floor this way. Okay, so if it's inside, again, lane line extended, this is a middle pick and roll. And let's talk about the defense the Spurs are in real quick. You hear me talk about drop coverage a lot right here. They're in a drop, and what they're going to do is another advanced scheme also, peel back switch. So when White sees the back of Lillard's numbers, what he's going to do right now is peel it off. Now Bertans has the ball. Now this is his man. Basically just a late switch executed. This read right here. An under, obviously, is another option you have against a high. Probably not something you want to do against Damian Lillard a whole lot because the natural reaction to an under is to rescreen. So the defender goes under. You see Brunson go under right there. Kanter's just going to pivot right away, go right into a rescreen. Now Dame's able to get his shot off again from deep behind the line. You see Dallas, for some reason, game plans seem to be keep going under, keep going under. At some point, though, you're going to have to go over the screen as it gets lower and lower. The first one, certainly understandable near half court. But then, as you keep squeezing under and keep squeezing under, eventually, Minu gets a piece of him enough. That's probably not a good decision anymore. Here you see another high right in the middle of the floor. This screen, high screen's usually going to be designed with a purpose either to bring the ball handler to his right or his left hand. Right here you see it's designed for Lillard to go to his right hand. But another advantage of the high pick and roll in particular, you see Dudley's up at the level, we call this. He's pretty much at the level of the screen, similar to a drop, but instead of being way back there around the free throw line or even inside the charge circle, Dudley's up and even with the screen. So when Lillard sees that, a lot of times that's going to key a reject for him. So he knows instead of wanting to go bring all these extra bodies into it, now he just has a whole lot of space if he's able to beat his man away from the screen, as he does with that kind of hesitation dribble with the left hand, drive into a whole bunch of space, great finish at the basket. Here's the clip I showed already on Twitter, but here's an example of that drop coverage with the big all the way back here. And this is what some teams would do. Usually, sometimes not against shooters like Dame and Steph, who have this unbelievable balance and can hit these pull-up shots from deep behind the screen, deep behind the three-point line like that. But again, the purpose of this, a lot of the analytics say we want to force long twos. The best way to do that oftentimes is to have the big all the way back at the rim, go over the screen. Screen's defender goes over the screen, and you try to chase him and make him keep putting the ball down and end up taking a mid-range pull-up. Of course, the danger with that is, though, what if the guy, like we said, is like Dame and is able to take one dribble off and pull up deep behind the line? Then you're going to give up some threes this way. So I talked about on Twitter, this was pretty much perfectly defended. This was exactly what Brooklyn wanted to do. LeVert does a great job fighting over the screen, getting a rear view contest, seeming to bother the shot a little bit. Ed Davis is supposed to be all the way back here. The purpose of him is stay between his man and the basket, allow no roll, and allow no offensive rebound, make nobody else have to come in and help off shooters. You're forcing the ball handler basically to beat you, but of course, when it's Damian Lillard, that's a pretty dangerous proposition. But when he misses the shot, is what I talked about, the dangers of evaluating defense, how hard it is to evaluate. It is basically the same exact defense. He just happens to miss the shot. So is it good defense here, bad defense in the other? No, not really. I think it's just part of the problem of us trying to rate everything. The defense was pretty good at executing what they wanted to do both times. Just Lillard happened to make the first shot, miss the second. Here's another high. Like we said, again, right about in the middle of the floor, designed with a purpose of sending Lillard to his right hand right here. In this defense, this is a perfect example of up at the level. So again, like a drop, some people call this like a flat hedge. A hedge to me normally is with your butt facing the sideline and you want to really get out and reroute the ball handler. But some people, again, like I said, consider this a flat hedge. I consider it more of just a flat drop at the level drop. Same exact purpose, basically, of the drop, but instead of being, again, way back there, you're up at the level of the screen. You want to make the ball handler see you. The danger of this, though, is point guards that are more willing to pass the ball, like a Harden, will come off the screen and look to hit the roll Canner right away. And if they don't have Canner, they're hitting Aminu for the three. Dame, obviously more of a shoot-first point guard. Not to say that he can't pass, not to say that he's not great at that too, but he likes to hang on to the ball a little bit longer and end up creating something for himself, which usually works out pretty well too. This screen, kind of right in the middle between being a side and a high. I could certainly see in a coach's meeting having an argument about this one, what exactly you consider it again, because I talked about this lane line extended. Well, this one's pretty much right about there. So this one's a 50-50, whether it be a high or a side. The read Dame makes, though, again, you see this kind of up at the level aggressive drop. Another good read against that, of course, is the split, as you see with the quick left to right crossover to attack the paint. At the level again there by Jokic. And again, another reject by Dame, and that's pretty much an example of what the drop is trying to force, more so, as you see Harris keep navigating over the screen. And Jokic this time is a little more aggressive, which I guess in a way does prevent Lillard from pulling up from three, forces him to kind of S-dribble, crossover dribble, try to keep his man on his back, mid-range pull-up. That's basically what the defense wants to force. But of course, Dame can hit a whole bunch of those too. You see JaVale's in another sort of aggressive drop here, but this is just the incredible ability of Damian Lillard to pull up a good 5 feet behind the line on a dime. Incredible. Last read out of a high from the defense is a weak. So usually the examples I've shown so far is the defense will force the ball handler to the screen. And when he does that, then you're just in your drop, you're in your coverage, you're in your flat hedge, whatever it is. Some teams will kind of almost ice a high pick and roll. So this is basically what this is doing. They're just trying to keep it on the side that he was coming to, not let him use the screen, not let him get off to his left hand. As you see Mills jump up and into him and try to force him down away from the screen. Offensive read then is to flip the screen. You call this like a Varejao. As you see Nurkic, initially it's set this to angle Lillard to his left hand. When he sees them icing it, he's going to change his angle, pivot, and set it for Lillard to go right, which allows him to get another pull-up three off. Here we see another example of this kind of ice or weaking a high pick and roll. As you see, Leonard initially comes up trying to send Lillard to his left hand, but you see Jang is going to come up basically waiting to zone up Lillard to his right hand. So they basically decided we're keeping this on the side it's on. We're not letting him go where he wants to on the pick and roll. Okay, but Myers Leonard's going to come up and flip the screen anyway. Jang's going to get out a little too aggressive. And again, you see another split from Lillard, but great job on the help coming in and taking charge. Now, if you want part 2 of this video where I go in depth on what exactly makes a side pick and roll, what the difference is, what a side drag is, what a step-up screen is, horns pick and roll, flat screens, angle screens, a whole bunch more detail. All you have to do is go to patreon.com/ScoutWithBryan, subscribe for even just $1 a month, and that gets you instant access to the rest of this video. Bonus video on Rui Hachimura, a JJ Redick film study, RJ Barrett film study, whole bunch of awesome bonus videos, awesome perks. Again, all it takes is even just $1 a month at patreon.com/ScoutWithBryan to unlock the rest of this. I really appreciate you guys helping support me. Please make sure you thumb up, hit that subscribe button, and I hope you enjoyed this video.